What's up, everybody? We are back at Around the Mat Pod. It is another week. We are SummerSlam bound. Things are heating up in the world of pro wrestling. A lot of things to talk about this week. But before we do that, if you're watching live on Twitch, thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. That does me a ton of help. Comment, let me know your favorite parts. Let me know your thoughts on all the questions. Answer the trivia questions, whatever we get to. We want to see your feedback. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, as always, leave that 5-star or that 1-star, whichever one fits you. And tell your friends about us. Share it on Instagram, all those things. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias. It is at AroundTheMatPod on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, which we are most active on those platforms. So don't forget to give us a follow. All those exciting things happening. And we're going to talk all about it. And I've got some new friends to introduce this week. We got a full house. We are going full around the mat. And let me bring in my friends here in the top right. He is Philadelphia's own Matt, formerly Boulder Clark. Matt, what's going on, baby?
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, man, you know, chasing that neon rainbow, living that honky-tonk dream. In the bottom left, he is the most motivating. He is the most captivating man in Cleveland. He is famed Cleveland independent wrestler, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham. DCR, man, what's up, baby?
It almost sounds as good as the intro you made for my entrance music.
My favorite independent wrestler is Dr. Dan. We are boys. We go way back from the racing community. Then we got into wrestling together, man, and he's been a close friend. So, Daniel, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you today?
Oh, man, if I were any better, I'd be you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, hey, don't shoot yourself a little. Yeah, don't sell yourself a little too short. You got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of things going on. And look, I even rocked the Dr. Dan shirt.
I know.
Man. Shout out to if you got to get that merch. If you're in Cleveland this week, I'll let him give his pitch later on, I'm sure. In the bottom right, though, he's back as always. He is the ticket god. He is the stooge, Freddie Briscoe. Freddie Fresh, what's going on, baby?
What's happening, man? Glad to be back as always. Glad to talk some wrestling, talk SummerSlam. SummerSlam is upon us, only a few days away. I'm ready to be in Cleveland. Dr. Dan, I didn't know you were from Cleveland, so I'm coming to your city.
When are you coming?
Tomorrow, Thursday.
You know,
well, what time?
When
you
hold on.
When you laying there?
Daniel, invite him to AIW.
Hey, AIW Thursday.
And I was
7:30.
Freddie,
Cleveland.
Freddie, how many independent events have you been to?
I've only been to a handful, believe it or not.
But AIW is the one to go to, man.
AIW is one you never know what you're going to expect.
It is slightly cleaner than GCW, but also maybe on the same production level, just minus Matt Cardona, but he might be there too. Who knows? There's a lot of things going
never
on.
know. Cardona was the absolute and intense champion for a long time. Combined champ in AIW.
They've also got what's the they got Matthew Justice. Who's the tall blonde-haired guy looks like Sid Vicious kind of?
Oh, Josh Bishop debuted on TNA.
Yeah, I always want to say Briggs, but it's Bishop, and he finally debuted. Yeah. Incredible talent.
Justice is there. Justice, longtime independent wrestler.
Awesome.
There's a full crew. It'll be a different show than GCW on Friday.
I love that. Yeah, so if you're in town, Freddie, and you want to go see some pro wrestling, AIW is the place to be. And Dr. Dan making his comeback. You're in a 6-man, right?
Yeah, 6-way scramble.
God, nobody does it better than AIW at the scramble. I once watched Dr. Dan wrestle in a Catholic high school gym. It was awesome. Incredible. Just really incredible. And Tommaso Ciampa was there also, I would like to note. It was really, really incredible. So
that was the longest and weirdest match, I think, in my career.
It's all it takes, baby. All right, man. Well, there's a lot to talk about in professional wrestling this week, which is incredibly exciting time to be a wrestling fan. I'm so happy that you guys all joined us, and it is time to go around the mat. As y'all know, I'm going to give out points and judge all of your feelings and emotions and comments based on my opinion, which is the one that matters. So let's go around the mat, and we'll kick it off first with the headlines. And the headline reads this week, we'll start with the Wyatt Sicks have unmasked. What a wild Raw. I mean, obviously, it's not a home run Raw. It's the go-home show, so there's only so much that they can do. They've been building all summer, but the Wyatt Sicks have unmasked as well. We already knew who they were, but the picture I sent, we have a group chat, me and Fred, as everybody knows, and I the one that was sent today showing those pictures was like the highlight of that for me, right? Seeing them unmasked, but also seeing Sister Abigail, or whatever they're calling her now, jump off the rope and attack Gable, and then the other three. Thought that was really cool. So for me, I really thought, I've talked about this, I don't think they've struck while the iron was hot with Wyatt Sicks. They've kind of spent a lot of time doing all these things, and maybe that's because so many other things are going on, but it's not, I don't love it. It's a cool thing. I like the wrestlers independent of their own. I'm excited to see where it goes, although I really don't understand why they're not debuting in ring at SummerSlam. So that's kind of my thought. Matt, you're the newest guest, man. What's your thoughts on Wyatt Sicks unmasking?
I get what you're saying about them not striking. But I also think that maybe they could have gone a little bit longer without
even debuting them, right? Maybe waited till after SummerSlam or something.
Or it's like keep the mask on for a little more destruction.
Sure.
I mean, I think
their destruction's really gone downhill. They went from murdering people the first episode, and
Chad Gable got shot in the head. That's
they really alluded to a lot of violence for that first week. They really just like hammered it home.
But I'll tell you who looks the coolest. Is Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, did you see the Rob Zombie thing? Yeah, he's like they did like a direct Rob Zombie thing.
It's like House on a Thousand Corpse.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I like the way that, I'm a big Joe Gacy guy. I thought he was actually really good in NXT. I thought his rock bottom yesterday was pretty cool, or Uranagi. I mean, I'm sure they're calling it something dumb. Freddie, what about you, man? What's your thoughts on the Wyatt Sicks unmasking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they did it. Like Matt said, I think maybe they could have waited a little bit longer, but at the same time, then you also risk it being too long. And they have been building it up a while, and it's like, okay, we have to eventually, how much more can we do until we do get them unmasked and in the ring,
Yeah.
There's a fine line between building anticipation and like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. You know what I mean? You don't want to risk that either.
Sure.
So, I think it's all subjective, but I didn't hate it that they did it yet. It has been over a month.
No,
right?
I thought it was cool. Yeah, overarching, I thought it was a neat thing.
And we're finally getting them in the ring on Monday, which is important because that's been the topic of conversation. Okay, this is great.
Yeah.
But eventually it's got to get in the ring, right?
Sure.
So, like, what does that mean? Like, what does that, how does that work?
Yeah,
right?
1,000%.
And so now we're going to finally get that on Monday. To your point, I do think that maybe SummerSlam would have been a better option. If that is one fault that I find sometimes with Triple H's booking, and I understand it, is that you want, I do believe in less is more.
Yeah.
I don't want a 15-hour AEW pay-per-view.
Sure,
or
100%.
Even WWE had marathons 5 years ago. I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I do think on a show like a WrestleMania, well, WrestleMania is 2 nights, so it's kind of different, but like
Same
show like
I get what you're saying.
SummerSlam
Right,
or whatever, we can have it
it could be 4 hours. It could be 3.5, 4 hours.
If you want to do 5 to 7 matches on a regular pay-per-view, you could do 9 to 10 on a classic.
Sure.
Yeah. So, because there's other guys that aren't on the card.
There's a lot. So that's the other thing. And we talked about that, the TV feud stuff, too, that they have going on. They've got a lot of that. There's a lot of TV-specific. Yeah, that's the thing.
Kevin Owens.
Right, maybe that's a time to give them some time off or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No Finn Balor. No, I mean, obviously Dominic is going to be involved with
Sure.
And
yeah, to not have both tag titles, have this discussion, to not have either tag titles on the line at a main event, it's baffling to me, but what do I know about anything?
But I mean, the card is very strong. It is a solid 7-match card. So it is a couple more matches than usual. Most pay-per-views recently have been about 5 matches, so it is a couple more. But anyway, back around to the Wyatts. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I would have liked to see the debut at SummerSlam in ring, but
I also would have seen them I hope that they take out anybody else other than, because attacking a top guy already seems so confusing for me. Because you obviously know they're gonna go over. Why couldn't they have attacked like Kofi and them and ruin that deal, or attack anybody else? Like there was no other baby.
No offense to Gable, but he's not.
I know, but he was on. I'm talking about he was on like a huge upswing.
Yeah.
Was my point. But
now it looks like they're going to go after Dakota Kai.
Yeah, I hope they ruin all of them. All right, Daniel, what about you, man? What is your thoughts on the Wyatt Sicks?
I like the whole deal of what they're like. They had to take the mask off because unless they like totally changed exactly what like their appearance was going to be, there was no way they can functionally wrestle.
Yeah,
so they at least had to get they had to get the crowd to at least look at who these people, like look at their face, so like maybe they have a better idea of going back and forth of like, okay, this is what they look like with or without entrance attire. And
sure.
like that's definitely something that's, you know, more like the marketing, I think, side of it, or like the easier like presentation. But I definitely think that like to your guys' point, definitely the whole like why are they not wrestling? Like they clearly have a trios match like set up at this point.
Right, like do that.
Like
maybe it's a pre-show match that we don't know about yet or something. I don't. But they said that they said they're going to debut on Monday, right? They've already taken that out, Freddie.
On Monday.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know.
I get leaving meat on the bone for TV for the next week, but like you're in the biggest party of the summer, like you got hitting the tagline
in a stadium for sure,
but also if it's not dark enough, you run into
then you got and especially
that was the outside WrestleMania where it was just real awkward because it was during the day.
Yeah, where it was like super
31 like because it was L.A. or not L.A.
No, San Francisco, right? Yeah.
So almost the whole show until the main event, and even that it was still a little light during the beginning. It wasn't until the very end. Yeah, so like Taker's entrance.
Cleveland's Wyatt. On the eastern side though of Ohio, so like it would be okay. I was just in Michigan on the western, what would be the western side of Ohio, basically, and it was like bright outside till like 9:30 or 10. I was like, they couldn't have an. I get what you're saying. Makes sense.
And it's starting at 7 too.
Oh,
so starting at 8.
Oh, so yeah, even more. All right. Well, the Wyatt Sicks, we're going to see what happens, man. Everybody knows I'm a little bit hesitant on them, so excited to see where that goes. All right, next one. Bloodsport is the real forbidden door. As everybody knows, Josh Barnett, well, maybe you don't know if you're only a WWE guy, but Josh Barnett hosts Bloodsport. MVP comes out. Shayna Baszler's there. The Creed brothers. Then they got AEW people. They got TNA people. They got New Japan people. And I made the joke that I love the indies. Obviously, I'm a huge indie wrestling fan. But Bloodsport being something that's completely different, it's very unique in what they do. And they, it's scripted MMA type of thing, very Roadhouse style stuff. And I really enjoyed it. But I think what Josh Barnett does is really cool. And I think I love the indies when those guys show up, like MVP, where he's like, hey, I'm leaving WWE. And I'm coming out, and him and Josh Barnett go way back to New Japan, so I thought it was really cool. Obviously, if you didn't watch the show, it doesn't really matter. You've seen the highlights online where Brutus and Julius just beat the living shit out of guys, which was awesome because I love the Creed brothers. So I thought it was a really cool event, and I like I said, my thoughts on Bloodsport is it's a very unique opportunity for wrestling fans, to catch something a little different. That we all pine for sometimes, right? Where people say it's scripted, but then you watch guys just beat the hell out of each other. But Daniel, being an indie wrestler, obviously you're familiar with these things. What's your thoughts and take on Bloodsport and stuff like that, where it opens that door?
Bloodsport's pretty sweet because of just the way that, it's such a different presentation without the ropes. And it's like, especially like going and like seeing a couple of those events, like especially in the beginning, I think because the first time they did it, it may have been
the Mania, right? They did it at WrestleMania during the 24 hours thing, right? The Collective.
Yeah, they did it in Orlando.
Okay.
And I remember being at that one, and like that was pretty cool. Like seeing that originally for the first time, and then now what it's become. As my one of the other guys in AIW, Dom Guarini, he was on the first couple Bloodsports.
Yeah, and he's like a real dude. Like he's like legit black belt judo shit, right?
Brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He was like top 10 in the world at his belt class.
Incredible.
And he's like watching him in those shows, and then with how it's evolved, like with what you said, like the Creeds and Shayna coming back to the indies doing those shows, and like over this past WrestleMania weekend where they had it in Philly and then they just had it again, and they're going to have it in Japan. It's like crazy how much Bloodsport itself has grown from the different hosts, quote unquote, to where it is now.
Yeah, Matt, what's your thoughts? You have any feedback? Obviously we met on Twitter, so you're a Twitter guy. You're in the Twitter wrestling community. You've seen
I'm
some
not even
stuff.
on Twitter right now.
Oh my god, how do you actively function as a wrestling fan?
There's so many dirt sheets out there.
Yeah, we're skipping all that. Yeah.
No, I know Bloodsport, or as I call it, Raw Underground.
Yeah, there you go, Raw. See, that's what Fred calls it too.
Oh, does he? Yeah, that's what it is.
He's like, that's where they got the idea.
Yeah, they perfected Raw Underground. I'm just waiting for Jean-Claude Van Damme to come out.
Man, the day they get Jean-Claude off the couch is the day that, you know what I mean?
Him versus RVD.
Yeah,
Just
that would
settle it.
be
Who's the
incredible.
best?
I'd pay for that.
Yeah, Freddie, what about you, man? Any thoughts on Bloodsport?
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's got its audience. It something else out there.
Sure.
I think it's cool that WWE allows Shayna to do that.
I think that's the coolest thing. And that's really my takeaway from it. The fact that the Creed brothers should have, because Creed brothers are obviously a legit wrestling guys. Like, as you saw the thing today, maybe that Julius noted, in 2020, I left the Olympic trials because I got signed to WWE. So, that's kind of a cool deal. You know what I mean? And
it is cool. And it's something that wouldn't have happened in the past, you know?
I was about to say that the old man would never let that happen.
Yeah, absolutely not. Because it doesn't present the same thing that he's trying to present. Where in reality, what I think it does is it adds a little bit of legitimacy. The Creed brothers are heels, right? They're obviously, you want to show they're badass, and all of a sudden these clips start to show up a little bit, man. Julius is beating the hell out of some guy. Now it's starting to look a little more believable. I think that there's definitely a unique way that WWE does everything, right? They're like, we would love to partner with you. Our guys will go over, and we will, but in return, we'll give you exposure, because that's what we're trying to do, and it's a unique thing. And I think that the details Triple H and team probably think about those pretty crucially. But yeah, man, Bloodsport, pretty cool. Shout out to Josh Barnett. All right, last headline. This is the fun one. Here comes the money. It's been talked about previously here. We talked a little bit about it. And then today, wrestling world is ablaze. Shane McMahon and TK are sitting in Arlington, potentially. We don't know how real the photo is, nor do I. I mean, I'm not a dirt sheet guy, so I really don't care. But it makes for good conversation. Shane O'Mac, man, I don't know. It could be cool. Freddie, though, I'm going to let you go first and your thoughts on Shane McMahon and TK meeting up today.
Not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. Now, with that said, is it wild, and is it? I can't deny that it's not cool, right?
Sure.
But it doesn't mean I like it.
That's my favorite thing about having Fred on the show, because Fred is a bleeding heart WWE guy, which I appreciate, because he's not only is he bleeding heart, but he's somewhat sensible. He's not like a bleeding heart basement dweller where he's confused that the outworld exists. He understands the world outside of WWE does exist. However, he does believe that once you leave, you are outcasted, and he is in the cult of WWE. So
until you come back, and then I forgive.
So amazing to think that Shane McMahon's last time in ring would be tearing his Achilles or ACLs or whatever against him is, and now he shows up in AEW. That'd be wild.
And you know what?
I've
quad,
heard whatever it was. Classic.
There are,
bad, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was bad. Fucking Snoop Dogg. Thank you, Snoop Dogg, for saving the
Thanks
spot.
for the big L.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
We were there. It was electric, honestly. It was really electric.
I mean, that pop though when Shane came out was
That's
amazing.
what I'm saying. So, okay, in theory, realistically, you're going to be upset. But what if he shows up at Wembley?
Well, that'd be the only crowd worthwhile. I mean, you do it on a Dynamite.
You can't do it on Dynamite. You're going to blow your load for no reason.
Fucking 2,000 people if you're lucky.
No, if they fill Arthur Ashe, that'd be a place to do it.
Yeah, but it's only 5,000 people now.
That's not it's your bigger U.S. show in New York.
I agree. What my point, and so here's my theory behind this whole thing. And I saw another person comment. You know who it was? It was Brian Alvarez, that dirt sheet cuck. Said, "Oh yeah, Tony Khan leaked it himself." Thank you, Captain Obvious. Of course, he said it was okay to leak it. You giant idiot! Like, duh. This is it. As non-calculated as people think TK is, I believe that he is calculated in the sense of he's doing whatever he can in his mind that looks good. And this is one of those things. Like, there wasn't like some airline person who walked into this private room and was like, snap a photo, I'm going to post it. That didn't happen. Right? He was like, hey, let me look like, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. Daniel, what about you, man? What are your thoughts on Shane if he shows up at AEW?
Dude, I just want to see him jump off the blood and guts cage. That's all I want.
That would have been a wild time.
Give me the spectacle all day long.
All right, fair enough. Matt, what about you, man?
I want to see it.
Yes.
I don't necessarily want to see him wrestle.
You just want to see him show up. That's what nobody wants to see him wrestle. I don't need to see that.
Could you imagine if
he comes out in the black turtleneck? That's what I think he should do.
And he's the one that saves us from the Elite.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun too.
Like a WWE guy,
yeah,
coming in. Like they could do their own like invasion.
I mean, you know what would be cool?
That her business shows up.
Yeah, they do a bunch.
If they
of
do
WWE
an angle
stuff.
where like Shane bought AEW from Tony Khan or whatever, and now the Elite no longer have any power and all that.
That would be an interesting way to turn them back, baby, and get them over. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
There's a ton of WWE guys who are really talented stars too. Like I still consider Jinder Mahal a star, regardless of what he's done in the past few years with Indashir and all that stuff. Like the Maharaja is amazing. I think he's great. So like that would be cool. Bring him in. You bring in a Cardona or something. Like there's a ton of WWE guys who are stars that would lift up if they really wanted to do something like that. And of course, we could fantasy book all day long. That's kind of a cool thing. I didn't really think
guys
about that.
They're not even using.
Oh, 1,000%, yeah. Well, that we talk about the AEW roster being overweight. They have so many people, it's ridiculous.
They have homegrown guys. They're not even using.
It is baffling. They have so much content, which is why I think they have so many wrestlers, because they don't want to burn their main people out. So they just keep signing people. But it's like, if you're not watching all the shows, does it really matter? And that's a long story for another time. But I agree. So yeah,
TK, keep signing people and sign my friends.
Yeah, that's what we need. We're just trying to get tickets backstage, dog. Hell, all right. Well, good stuff, man. The headlines read, and on to the next thing, which is again one of my. I really enjoy the pick'ems. As I've mentioned, I am the 2-time back-to-back pool winner in our Wrestling Marks pool. I'm crushing it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm crushing it. And I think I crushed this one. I submitted my picks already. But we're going to go match by match. There's 7 of them. Give me your feedback. We'll talk about it. And we will start with, I got to go to it first because I'm an idiot here. Let's pull it up. Wrestling Marks pool. There it is. All right, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to go with Bayley versus Nia Jax. And Fred, I'm going to kick it off with you because I know you love those 2 women. And I know how you feel about the bloodline. So, Nia versus Bayley, man. What's your thoughts on that one?
I think Bayley keeps it. I'm a big fan of Bayley. I like Nia. I do. And I know she won Queen of the Ring and all that and everything. But I don't see Bayley losing it yet. I think she's got more to do as the women's champion.
All right. Matt, what about you, man? Who are you picking?
She drops it.
She drops it.
You think Nia will ever, join the bloodline because she is related?
I think if there was other people that they could do women's stuff with, yeah, but I don't think there's... So far, they haven't brought any women into the whole fold because all the people that they've beat up on haven't been... They haven't had
That's
any women.
the problem when you add a woman. It would be cool, but, if there's no woman for them to
You got to do it'd have to be like the Jay and Jimmy and Roman versus, Solo in that group, and then they'd have to pick Nia or something like that.
Yeah.
There'd have to be some sort of
thing. With China and DX, it worked because
she was beating up dudes, and they allowed that.
Right, was working with the guys, But you know what? Nia could.
She could.
They were teasing that with Ambrose years ago. Remember?
They teased it within the Royal Rumble.
Right, that was with Ambrose.
So I don't know. So who you picking, Matt? Who you?
R-Truth.
You said Nia. Yeah, the R-Truth thing. You said Nia's going to win, right?
I think Bayley's. I don't know.
The SmackDown run's been.
I haven't been interested in her since.
Yeah, SmackDown's
women's. I like her chasing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, her run hasn't. There hasn't been anything spectacular with her run yet.
Her new finisher's also god awful, so that has something to do with it. I know it.
Her entrance at WrestleMania was god awful as well.
Yeah, that whole thing was bad, but whatever. All right, what about you, Daniel? Who you picking? Nia or Bayley?
You don't give her Queen of the Ring to not strap her up at SummerSlam.
Okay.
At this point, because like you said, the money is for sure in Bayley's chase. You've seen it over how different many title reigns of her as a babyface. That's 100% the move for her.
Okay. I think that I'm picking Bayley, but I think that Tiff cashes in or she interjects herself in the match in some form or fashion because I think they're any longer that it lingers there's not really a story. I don't know. It's not building to Bayley versus Tiffany. You know what I mean? So I feel like she hits Nia with the Money in the Bank and cashes in or something like that. But I did pick Bayley to retain. I don't know. Nia is a weird thing as women's champ. Has she been women's champ? She has once, right? Raw?
Yeah.
but not SmackDown.
She beat Alexa Bliss for it at WrestleMania 34.
That's right. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. All right. Here's a bit. This is Fred's favorite match: L.A. Knight versus Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you. Freddie Fresh on the weekends is a L.A. Knight impersonator. If you'd like to hire him,
Sponsored in part by Prime.
Sponsored in part by Prime.
Play it safe.
Play it safe. Incredible. Yeah, Matt, who you going with here? L.A. Knight or Logan Paul?
You got to give. Yeah, LA Knight has to win. Otherwise, people are going to start to. Like, you got to give him a title. You have to give him something.
They're going to start souring on him eventually if he keeps losing.
He's got to get something.
Yep.
And this is like the safest. Not that he can't go with the big guys, but this is like the safest belt.
Yeah, to keep him a top guy, to keep selling the merch, keep letting him go out there and say, yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Daniel, who you picking? L.A. Knight or Logan Paul, man?
I can't pick Logan Paul, man. I got to pick LA Knight.
Man, not even go with his Cleveland Knight.
No.
By way of Puerto Rico. I love that. It's good stuff. Or Dominican. He lives in Puerto Rico, right, Freddie?
Yeah. He's not from Cleveland proper. He's from Westlake. It's you know.
You're not from Cleveland proper either.
I don't say I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, all right,
Ohio.
fair enough. I was
from
like, wait
Yale
a
University.
second.
Come on.
Incredible. Freddie, who you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with LA Knight. I think it's his time. I think it's been his time. Now's the time to do it. To beat beat Logan Paul rather for it is a big, big name to beat.
Yeah. Logan's been champ long enough too at this point.
Yeah, he's had it since Crown Jewel in November, so it's been a while.
Almost a year long. That's the longest tenured U.S. champ in a long time.
Right now, he's the longest tenured champ in
this decade.
Oh, since
Roman. Well, currently since Roman dropped the title.
Oh wow, okay.
Just don't believe it's had a longer title reign, now.
Okay.
Whatever. So I'm going with LA Knight.
All right. I'm also going LA Knight. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought this feud's been pretty good, man. Both of them can talk. I think, like I've mentioned a million times, that Logan Paul, when he can talk and he's not doing the fake voice thing that he's doing where he's like fake being a heel. In Nashville, we call that thing the fake twang. A lot of guys will come out. I've done it. We like, it's almost like you're trying to sing like a cowboy. He's like trying to be like a heel, but it's like, bro, you have a punchable face. You could just talk regular, I promise. Mm-hmm. Everyone is not going to like you regardless, and we'll be fine. So yeah, man, I'm going to LA Knight, but I do think LP's done a great job. I think he probably takes some time off after this to go to, he comes back around Royal Rumble or maybe comes back at Survivor Series or something like that.
Yeah, because he's been on TV pretty consistently.
Yeah, he's been coming back, and I think he's done a great job. So, all good. All right, up next, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I am gonna go Braun. I said it last time. I was certain. I was dead set that he was beating Sami Zayn. I don't, but to save it for SummerSlam and make it even sweeter, like, hey man, you can't beat me twice. You physically, I think that's the smart. I mean, they've built up Braun at this point. His new music is not the worst. It's slightly better than the other music, but it's not great, but it's slightly better. So they're definitely building him, and he can talk. And he's got kind of a punchable face too. I kind of hate it when he talks too, but I'm a big Steiner guy, so I'm going Braun. Dr. Dan, who you picking?
Oh, gotta go with my boy Scotty's nephew. I'm gonna go Braun Breaker.
Hell yeah. Honestly, do we think the Breakensteiner is I felt like that was like the best thing that they added a couple weeks ago when they added to his moveset. They called it the break. I was like, that's pretty good, because they won't call it the Steiner line, and they should when he does the spear thing or whatever, the running. They should call it something when he's running across the ropes with Steiner. The more callback to Steiner, the better, in my opinion. I just don't.
More Steiner math.
That's right. What if he cut a promo? That would have been sick if he'd have cut that promo on Monday. If he'd have done something with Steiner Matt, that would have been good. All right, Matt.
They wasted that in NXT.
They did. He did do that in NXT.
No one remembers that. There's some meat on the bone still.
Was that NXT 2.0?
That was like his first couple ones when it was still 2.0?
For early.
Okay. Yeah, definitely no one remembers. I skipped a lot of those when they turned it to 2.0. Matt, who you picking? Braun or Sami?
I don't even think Sami should have been holding the title. I think the money was in Chad Gable, and they went with the wrong person. But that's besides the point.
No, that is the point. And I agree. Look, we've talked about this. There's one thing that I agree with. I think it's a little bit of our minds, too, are so right now thing, right? It's like we have to have it. It's like that immediate reaction thing. And so it's almost like they're trying to retrain our brains to like, hey, back in the day, the belts used to change once every 365 days type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see it all. And so maybe that's what they're going towards, and I do like that part. So, yeah.
I just didn't think, like, Sammy doesn't need a belt to be over, but I really think that they played with our hearts with Chad Gable. Yeah. But all that being said, Braun Breaker.
Okay.
You can't make him lose twice.
Fair enough. What about you, Freddie? Who you going with?
Yeah, I think it's Braun Breaker's time as well. Like I said, with LA Knight, it's Braun Breaker's time. I was shocked when he didn't win it at Money in the Bank. I really thought he had that one.
Yep.
But I think looking back now, that was the right call. You know, it made Sammy look strong.
Yep.
And now when Braun Breaker beats Sammy, it's a bigger deal because he didn't beat him the first time, right? So now he is. And to do it on the stage like SummerSlam, I think is a better call.
Agreed.
So
I think it'll be cool.
I think it'll be cool, yeah, for sure.
All right, and then here's Fred's other favorite match: Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
No lie, this is probably the one.
It is a top. I'll tell you, other than the Liv crying thing, they've done a really good job with it. The Liv cry was so terribly. I hated it so much. It was so cornball. But I hate
fun.
But I think it was intentional.
No, I get it. I'm just saying I hated it.
I think it was meant to be.
I know you made it that, and when you made that point earlier in the chat, I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? Like, oh, it's the turn, right? She's faking it because of the turn, is what you're talking. And so I agree with that. That's cool. Who are you picking to win?
Me?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was going back to you.
Yeah, no. I think Liv is winning.
Okay. I also agree. I think
everybody thinks Rhea, but something's happening.
The reason I think Liv, and I do think that there's the double swerve, is I think that Dom actually doesn't swerve, but I think Finn might.
Yeah. Did you see about?
We talked about that, and I was like, that's a good call out. Yeah. I didn't see it on Raw Monday. I missed that part, but.
And all the times that. Finn,
all the times that Finn's like trying to save Dom, like, no, you're going this way, like that, all that other. Yeah.
And he took the hotel card.
Of all the character growth in Judgment Day, which they've had a ton for everybody. Everybody's had great character growth. Finn Balor's maybe had the most. He's become like comedic. He can still obviously wrestle. He still looks like $1 million. He's got a good shit heel thing, but he also has the comedic heel. From a character growth, I think he's just been exceptional, and I really like Finn. All that to say, like I said, I'm picking Liv.
I think it's the best stuff Finn has done.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think, but I really see. I thought all the stuff. Every time he's done something has been amazing. The only time that he didn't was when they put him in. When he got the shaft from McMahon after after he got hurt, it wasn't McMahon's fault, but obviously he got hurt. Then when he came back, he was just doing absolute dog shit stuff for a while before they sent him back and everything. But all that to say, I think.
Yeah, the stuff he did in NXT was obviously great, but I think, like you said, the character development has been.
He's done a
really
great job.
Good.
Carlito also has managed to turn himself because we were like, "What the fuck are they doing?"
And he was great. I know you said you didn't see Monday, but he was great again on Monday.
I saw the part where he spit the apple thing out. I saw that, like, the highlights of it, obviously, and I watched some, but I didn't see it live, and I was like, damn, I probably should watch that. But
every week
he's done a great job. Yeah, he's done a good job. Dan, who are you going with, man? Liv or Rhea?
I like Rhea with the belt is such a cool visual, but I want Liv to keep it just for the story to continue, because I think as a pure, you don't see her as Rhea as a pure baby face, but stripping her down and her having nothing left and then building, that's a good chase, especially for the fall, for TV.
Oh yeah, cool. They got plenty of room to do that too. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Especially because now they can build it back to her and Liv again at Survivor Series, because she can break up with Dom, she can break up with Judgment Day, she can do all those things to build it back to her, like you said, right? There's that.
But is she totally alone? Because now I'm sure when you're going into a match further on, it goes, there two members of Judgment Day that stay together and then try to fight the older crew. But we'll get there.
Yeah, exciting. Matt, what about you, man? Liv or Rhea?
So you stole a lot of what I was going to say, but I think a lot of people have the same feelings. So give me a second to get there. I definitely early on, I was just and to quote this country singer, I thought it was going to be heartbreaking a Honda.
Hey, I wish it was, man. If that would have been a hit, I might have been richer now.
For Rhea with Dom, but what would be even crazier is what if we think it is Finn Balor, and I think it's going to involve Finn Balor, but what if also like Dirty Dom is also in on it?
Oh, and they're all just
those
ejecting
two,
Rhea from the group and Liv comes in type of thing?
yeah, but then you have the issues with Damian Priest and them. They're like, what the hell? So then you kind of the group breaks up on maybe SummerSlam, and then you have you add maybe what's the other guy, the short guy,
JD McDonough.
JD. Maybe he goes with them. It really could be.
I think they have a lot of opportunity to do stuff with Judgment Day. Fred, you can probably answer this. How long is Judgment Day? Are they the longest tenured group outside of the New Day?
Well, no, the Bloodline started earlier, but I mean,
did they?
It depends what blood. I mean, the original Bloodline that really isn't the Bloodline right now started. Yeah, they started during COVID. They started in
and that's what I'm saying. When did Judgment Day start?
Judgment Day didn't start till after WrestleMania.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, Matt, I didn't mean to cut you off.
The Edge heel turn.
Yeah, the Edge.
Right.
Okay, that's what I was
started with Damian Priest at Mania, Rhea at Backlash, and then the turn at Hell in a Cell.
Okay, sorry, Matt, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to. Trying to think.
So
about
2022, a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
But all that I say, smart money is on. Is not on Rhea. I can't see.
Yeah.
I think it leads to Rhea eventually getting it. It's just not on Saturday.
I think like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or Royal Rumble.
If they build
they can stretch it out that long. That
the
would
Super Showdown comeback.
Oh man, I hope not.
No, I think
we're going back to Australia.
Incredible. Liv, Rhea, man, all the stuff they're doing is really, really great. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I think it's gonna be really, really good. And they've done some really funny stuff, like callbacks to like Attitude Era stuff, and then of course the China and stuff that they've done with Rhea. But like that Liv Dom thing, that's a callback to the Attitude Era, like if I've ever seen one, right? Like the where she's stretching him out and doing the whole thing in the room, and then the guys peek around. I'm like, that's some Vince McMahon stuff right there. I thought it was good.
But then you see a lot of Eddie Guerrero with China.
Look, no one's going to convince me that Dom isn't Eddie's son. I'm just. They can say.
Oh no, but can I talk about my ultimate conspiracy theory of what this leads to?
1,000%.
This 100% leads to the custody of Dominic ladder match too.
It has to. I mean, that's been the funniest thing that I've seen on the internet. I'm like, we got to no. What they need to do is Judy Bagwell on a pole. They need to bring him out there on a forklift.
No, the forklift.
Hold him up over the ring. Someone said that. This is the one funny thing Bubba Ray has ever said. Was like, man, can't you just picture him in the shark cage above the ring and all this stuff? And I was like, all right, Bubba, that was actually a good call out. Outside of all the other dumb things you say. Shout out to the Dudley Boys. All right, this is the second, the co-main event. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Ref Rollins, special guest referee. What an incredible build this has been. Matt, I'm going to let you kick it off, man. First off, tell me overarching what your thoughts are on the rivalry, obviously, and then who you picked to win.
I think it's been good rivalry. I don't care for Rollins being put in. I get why they did it because he definitely has heat with both guys. It was almost like Shawn Michaels with Bret Hart and was that Bret Hart and Stone Cold? Who's
Bret Hart and Undertaker?
Bret Hart and Undertaker. Yeah.
SummerSlam '97.
So I mean, what I think would be amazing, and I don't think it's going to happen, is if Drew just squashes him, just a squash match.
Okay.
Like CM Punk was not ready for this. He gets squashed because that would make everybody like, wait.
That would also build Drew crazy.
Yeah, then he looks like this unbeatable.
Like, hey, it was you all along.
Yeah, and this guy just came back from tricep surgery. It's his first match back. So they could play it off like wasn't ready. He came back early. I mean, I think
that is a hot take that I have not heard. I like it.
But I actually think it would be pretty neat to squash him. But they're not going to waste Rollins for a squash.
Sure. So who are you picking Drew to win, though? Or are you picking CM Punk?
I am. Okay. I'm thinking there's going to be some funny business.
Okay.
But I'm taking Drew.
I like it. Freddie, what about you, man?
I'm going with CM Punk. I don't think he could afford to lose after, everything he's been through with the injury and like that setback. I just think him losing he needs the momentum.
I agree. That's fair.
and especially as a babyface.
Yeah.
I think he's got to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think they may have match of the night.
Hey, here's my question: where does Drew go from here?
Well, they're not going to be done.
Okay, so there's more to come.
No, they're going to have a Hell in a Cell of Bad Blood.
Oh, you are set on it. You're convinced. I'm booking it.
This might even be a title match in WrestleMania next year.
I would hope that some of them could do so. I honestly, another loss for Drew to me is like, damn, this guy came back to get paid on the top, and you got to have losers. I get that.
But he won. He won the title.
Yeah, for 5 minutes and 46 seconds. They talk about it every week.
I think Drew loses because of Seth Rollins.
That I agree with.
But I don't think Seth is going to intentionally screw him. I think they're going to do a finish like SummerSlam '97, where Shawn doesn't see the chair shot thing. The whole
where Bret Hart moves and hits Taker overhead.
Yeah.
I do love, like I said, we talked about it, I love the callback to that too. So,
right.
Okay, Dr. Dan, who you picking, man? CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
I'm really hoping that McIntyre does, like you said, he got paid. Hopefully, there's there's a little bit of upside to that. Like, hopefully he's getting something. But especially with the story, like when you add Rollins into it, like you guys said, like, this I was asked, you don't put, a stipulation like that in without like an actual, like, moment, unless they're going back to Seth and Drew. Like, there has to be a,
right.
Somehow, how does this become an interjection in with the third guy? Because, also like, if I'm not like, I don't watch religiously every week, but didn't like Punk and Rollins have a big tiff before this whole, injury and everything happened. So
yeah,
they were supposed to have a match at WrestleMania, which
right.
I think that'll now happen at WrestleMania this year coming up.
Still won't main event at WrestleMania. Sorry, Punk.
Yeah, but if he opens, you either want to open or you want to close.
Nah, he wants to headline, and he ain't doing it.
So you don't think Punk and Rollins will headline next year?
Do I think Punk will headline
next year?
Absolutely.
Punk and Rollins?
No.
No.
All you guys do is talk about Rock and Roman. That's all you guys talk about in the chat.
Yeah, but there's 2 different nights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you talking about so you consider headlining the first night as being a main eventer?
Yeah.
Okay. Then he might. But
I mean,
do I know with Cody Rhodes,
that
who's
said,
the most recognized?
Do I think that the night 2 main event is the bigger of the 2? Yeah.
So it's not a main event. That's my point.
But it is. No, there's a difference between a bigger main event and a main event. I mean, they're both the main events.
Okay, let me ask you something. What main evented WrestleMania 38?
Well, which night?
What do you?
Well, to me, that one. I mean, no, Austin and KO. I'm telling you that one.
Austin and KO was bigger than Brock and Roman.
1,000%.
Finally, you admit that Roman. Finally, you admit that Roman sucks. God, I just want to.
No, I love Roman.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. It might happen. I am going with CM Punk. I can't see him losing. I mean, unfortunately, I do think that he should maybe take an L. I don't understand why he gets to come back on top, but Drew's done all the hard work. And I also mentioned this too. I think that Drew has done an exceptional job doing a lot of the work, keeping this thing. He has done a.
100%.
I mean, as far as like,
credit.
I never thought Drew would be able to hang on the microphone. I never thought he'd be. The social media stuff is hilarious. Like, he obviously has wit. He's clever. He's a smart guy. He's done a lot of
picture with Jack Perry the other day.
Dude,
that was
top. Yeah, it was unbelievable. So I don't know, man, but I'm picking CM Punk, unfortunately. All right, second to last one here. Damian Priest versus Gunther. I'll kick this one off. I'm going to go with Gunther. I think that, like you said, Dan, I don't think they put King of the Ring on him to not give him the title. I also think Damian Priest's run has been less than stellar. Obviously, I just don't see him. He's not great on the mic in the ring. I think he's really funny in the Judgment Day stuff, or he's very intriguing in the Judgment Day stuff. He's interesting. But, man, when he's on the mic in the ring, it's just not that. Dog shit is the word that comes to mind. It's just not good. Super great guy, I'm sure, but right now it seems so forced, especially him being a babyface. He's 6'10" and looks like he does. It's not a babyface, in my opinion, again, as a fan. So I'm going Gunther. I hope the Ring General gets it done. And I'd love to see him as world champ, because I think he, as far as like in-ring work, could be just like absolute. It's a whole new thing too. You're talking about all new wrestling matches that he could have. So I don't know. I'm picking Gunther. Dan, who you got? Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther. Oh, Gunther, 100%. I would love to just see that guy just become the world champion. That'd be one of the most wild developments of, watching him, like when he was coming over from like WXW to now, like where he is, like is insane. Also, like the body transformation is like crazy.
I think
but
it's incredible, right? He did all that work to like look like a world champion. It's impressive.
And now, however long he held that IC belt, he just proved a point with how long he held it that, you can, rely on me to wrestle every day, and I'm going to, beat the absolute tar off every single dude you put in the ring with me.
Yeah, it's really good.
Triple H guy, though. I mean,
which
Triple
helps.
H guy through and through.
Yeah, which helps. I agree. Matt, who you picking, Gunther or Damien?
Is anybody like not? I mean, I don't know. I'm just not. I feel like every time Damien's out there, it's like botchamania.
I just think, I don't think he botches in the ring. I get obviously the over the rope thing. That actually turned out to be pretty cool. The not kicking out from
they got lucky at that one.
Yeah, from not kicking out through the Falcon Arrow, that was not, and he straight up was like, look, it's not ballet. He's like, I just missed it. There wasn't nothing supposed to happen. It is what it is. We moved on. And I was like, okay, cool. So, but I
Priest is good in skits. Like, could you imagine if they ever put him in like a match with John Cena, like in his retirement tour, like he would eat him alive on the mic.
Oh, 1,000%. That's what I'm saying. It's not good. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why that is, because he's obviously a good talker, like in certain elements. I just think the one-on-one thing in ring hasn't been great.
I got to go Gunther. I mean, it's.
I feel it.
He's just more believable.
I agree. I also agree with that. Yeah. Freddie, as a resident Judgment Day member, who are you picking?
No, I mean I'm a big fan of Priest, and I think Priest has been doing a good job with what he's been given with his world title, right? Sure. I think anything he's done with it, he's made the best of it. I think, it's kind of been taken depending on the time, it's, been taken away from, whether it was because for a while the story was King of the Ring, right?
Yep.
And then, a lot of the Raw story has been, with the Wyatts and been with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. So I think the world title hasn't been as much of a focus. It has been more recently for SummerSlam, which I'm glad. So I don't think it's really his fault. I think it's just been the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a victim of circumstance. I get it.
But I think with what he's been given, he's done a really good job with it. And I'm very excited for the match. Now, here's my thing. I think it's easy to say that Gunther is going to win, right? I think,
sure.
That's easy to say and, looks, obvious. But, okay, do you have him win it at SummerSlam and go in to Bash in Berlin as champion? Or do you have him win it at Bash in Berlin?
It would be electric, but they're not big on winning it in your hometown.
So which one? Well, not anymore. I mean, they different now.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, it doesn't show that.
Well, they had McIntyre
because Drew lost literally in his hometown.
Well, yeah, but that was a whole angle. Listen, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get it.
I could see it go one of two ways. I could see him winning it at SummerSlam, but I could just as easily see him not winning and somehow getting a rematch at Bash in Berlin and winning the title there.
All right, fair enough.
And I don't think either way is wrong. I think, it's cool to have him walk in as champion in his home country, and I think it's cool for him to win it in his home country. So we'll see.
All right.
But I'm giving you an answer. I'm going to go with Gunther.
Okay, fair enough. Last one. This is the one that matters. Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in the new Bloodline. There's been a lot of talk. Everybody is convinced that Roman is returning, or maybe The Rock is returning. My hope is that Rikishi comes out and nobody is given Rock and Roman, but that's a personal opinion. I am going Cody, obviously, because he is that motherfucker. World champ, in case y'all didn't know. Most popular wrestler, in case y'all didn't know. Whether Nick and Miguel believe it, let it be known. Cody Rhodes, man. I'm obviously a Cody homer, but in the sense of what he's doing, I still think he's doing a lot of great work. I think he, unfortunately, is very similar to the Damian situation with the championship belt, is that everybody's so invested in the first story with Roman that it was really hard right after to follow up. And now he's back in with the Bloodline, which is cool because it's a different version of the Bloodline, and it's been very interesting the way they've done it. But I'm still obviously excited that Cody Rhodes is the world champ. It's been incredible. So I'm super pumped about that. But I think Cody's going to win. But I do think obviously, as I've read, and now it's ingrained in my brain, is that Roman or Rock does return and does a run. I don't think it's Rock. I think that would be just silly. Unless he comes back and Impact solo winning. That would be wild. I don't know. Either way, I'm going Cody Rhodes because I'm trying to win the pool. So, what about you, Dr. Dan? Who are you picking?
Cody Rhodes.
Hell yeah. Crossroads. Or do you think anything's going to happen in the main event?
I mean, it's gonna. I feel like this is like Cody's title reign is very like babyface, like WCW type.
Yeah,
like he's got to fight. Like it is like you look at how he's like been like through the whole thing, and I really hope that there's got to be something like he wins, they beat him down. There's going to be something that happens.
Sure. It's very Sting-esque. Yeah, when he was champ. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Freddie, what about you, man?
I think Cody keeps it. I don't think he's losing it anytime soon.
What are you excited? What would be your best case scenario? Saturday night, Cody wins, but then what? Or not even maybe Cody doesn't win. What's your like? Just Roman coming back. That's what you're excited for. Yeah. Are you gonna just go ape? You just gonna lose your shit?
Oh fuck yeah!
Hell yeah! Matt, what about you, man?
No voice on Sunday.
I was also Cody's gonna win, but I was hoping that they would have written off the Yeet Man because remember when Damage Control came like 2 years back? Like, how cool would if they're beating up Cody after he won, lights go out, and then just you hear Roman and he's coming out with the brothers.
Yeah,
and it's just like that would be like a moment.
I do think that writing Jay off would have been cool if you're going to bring them back as a 3 as the Bloodline. Originally, that's pretty cool thing. We've definitely talked a lot about that too, and in our chat is like, does Roman and Rock, and they have their Bloodline versus Bloodline, and like that. It's a pretty cool setup. So I'm interested to see what happens. But like I said, I think Cody's run continues. It's a slower build, but I hope to.
But will it overshadow Cody? Because
but that's what they've been trying to do the whole time. That's what I'm saying. The Rock and Roman, like Rock is constantly like the Bloodline thing is almost overshadowed everything constantly because there's so much of it. I think they've done a good job with that part of it, right? Because the Bloodline, you do have to have a dominant heel, right? So having the Bloodline beat everybody up, although we could talk about Tonga Loa is like the worst heel of all time. He's great.
He's the best heel of all time.
Now, he's a great skit guy, terrible in ring. It's so bad.
He's going with the shark punch.
What were you talking about this 2 weeks? Like what last pod? I listened
a little bit of your back
catalog.
Weeks ago or something. Yeah.
You were talking, what's the difference between in a ring and out of a ring?
Yeah.
Dude, don't matter. That dude is gold.
Yeah, outside of the ring, I agree.
Creates moments. Even if they're unintentional.
Yeah, even if they're unintentional. That's a good way to put it. Freddie's important, by the way. Freddie had to take a call. Are they trying to move a commercial? Tell them you're busy.
We're good.
Excellent. All right, man. Well, SummerSlam, pick 'em SummerSlam this Saturday night. It's like 12 hours long with the pre-show.
It said 8 hours on Peacock.
It did say.
Yeah. I don't know why that pre-show's so fucking long. I'm glad I'm not watching the pre-show.
You'll be at. Oh no, you're going to all the.
Dude,
other stuff.
You go to.
Right, I'm going to be there, so it's not.
No, Fred's doing all the stuff, man. He's going to Priest's thing. He's going to Sammy's thing. He's going to Taker's thing. He's going to SummerSlam, right, Freddie?
Yeah.
And now he's going to AIW. Yeah.
And I'm doing the Christmas Story House.
Oh yeah, the Christmas Story
Guardians game.
Go to the bar across the street from the Christmas Story House for dinner or lunch or whenever you're going. It's worth it.
Oh really?
Yeah, Raleigh Inn.
Oh, that's yeah. They were on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Dude, it's awesome.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna have time because I'm going Sunday before my flight. My flight's not till like 6:00.
Oh, sick.
And you can go anytime. Like it runs every hour, so I'm just gonna go sometime in the morning, depending on how late my Saturday night goes. But I'm gonna go sometime Sunday before my flight. So all right, Raleigh Inn. I'll get lunch there before I leave. Hell yeah.
Check it out. I love it. All right.
Any other place you recommend?
Yeah, Daniel, give him all the run-ins. Where else should he run in at?
Where are you staying?
Crown Plaza.
Right downtown?
Yeah.
Winky Lizard, it's like a typical bar, a bunch of beers, brew, stuff like that. That's always good. There's a pizza place right across the street from the Rocket Mortgage Field House. That place is pretty good.
Oh.
It's like
right
by
there.
the Slice place. It's place
by
is
the
great.
Slice. What is that place called? Shit, I can't remember the name.
They just put it in over the winter.
Oh,
and then there's like Barrio. There's a Barrio one that taco place that's been there for a long time. You're in a good spot.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Freddie's going to take him
How far is
all
the
the sites
Story
of
House
Cleveland.
from? I know the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is fairly close to that area.
Christmas Story House, you'll probably have to Uber.
Uber, right? I figured.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty. You can see the whole skyline from like that area. So like it's a hike. It's a hike though.
Are they having a superstore, Freddie?
Yeah, at Tower
City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sick. All right. Well, I love that. Well, I'm having a big party at the house.
Yeah, that's my first stop tomorrow.
So, at the Superstore? You're going to the Superstore first?
Superstore, and then something to eat, and then Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at 2:30.
I love that.
Freddie
is the best type of wrestling fan because he takes in like the whole sites of the city that he goes to. He does all that stuff. It's great tourist. Great tourist going by himself.
I am the epitome of a tourist.
I love that.
But you know what? Fuck it. You know.
You only live once, I guess.
I don't know when I'll be back in Cleveland. If I will, no offense, Daniel.
I used to say that to him all the time. Hey, I don't know when I'm fucking coming back here. Hopefully, never. But
there's been cities that I said I know I won't be back. So consider that.
Cleveland gets a bad rap, man. But
Cleveland does get a bad rap.
Listen, I went to fucking Detroit last year and I had a good time. So Cleveland,
Detroit's awesome now.
Yeah, you had said that, PJ, and I didn't know whether to take your word for it or not, given on your
Cleveland's actually great
opinions,
too.
But you were right.
No, Cleveland's great too, right? They got Dan Gilbert and the Guardians, and
I'm excited.
I told
first
Freddie
place Guardians.
The first place Guardians. That's right. Well, it's not hard to be first place in the Central, bro. It's White Sox.
And for
I'll be there tomorrow night.
All of baseball.
I mean, they destroyed our Phillies like 5 out of 6
Also,
games.
that's not saying much either. Fuck the Phillies.
Well, we were
second best team in baseball.
We just lost again today.
Yeah, that's another conversation for our chat. But all right, the randomizer. That's where I pick a random topic. I like to go around. It's kind of a fun one. And this one is not super crazy, but I wanted to ask, what is your most prized possession that is wrestling related? What is your most prized possession that is wrestling related? I'll kick it off with you, Dan. What's your most prized wrestling possession?
I don't know. See, that's the one thing I've like messed up on is I haven't like collected a lot. Like I've got like my gear and my stuff, and like that's
but you're taking it all in. That's fair.
Yeah. The one, I mean, it's like real small, but it's not anything. It goes just from my I was a tag team with a guy in Alpha One in Hamilton, Ontario, ran by now NXT champion Ethan Page, and
all ego.
We this guy that I was tagging with, Jim Nye the Science Guy, retired, and he gave me the lab coat on the way out. He's like, "Here you go for just so you can remember me by and get." So I got it sitting in my wrestling box. So every once in a while, I'm like, "Should I wear this up to the ring?"
That's incredible.
That's probably the one I got that only like keep memento or keepsake I have.
That's cool. All right, I get it, man. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to A1.
You can't keep a belt. They're can't keep belts because they're a little pricey for an indie company. So you can't just
they're like
stash it away.
We need that back. Freddie, what about you, man? What's your most prized wrestling possession?
Tough question.
Because he's a big collector. Obviously, he's got tickets. He's got chairs. He's got merch. He's all this stuff. So that's why I thought it might be a fun one.
I think my favorite thing that I have
is that your Undertaker signed coffin bed.
That's still in the mail. That's for the new apartment. No, it is Undertaker related, though, of course. But my Undertaker WrestleMania 28 plaque and the Venera plaque.
Cool.
Even though it came signed already, and I didn't get it signed, myself and all that. That's one of my favorite moments. It's the first WrestleMania I traveled for. So I'd say awesome. That's probably my favorite thing that I have.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you, man? What's your most prized wrestling possession?
So mine's a little more sentimental. So I used to go to like ECW events and stuff like that all the time. And my dad would like come with me. He's passed away now, like 11 years. And the one time we got a program, and I actually it was at the Wildwood Convention Center, so like it was a little bit easier to stay longer there than it was like in South Philly.
Yeah.
So
you mean less dangerous?
No.
Okay.
But this is like, I get what you're saying, yeah. But he stayed with me, and we got like a bunch of autographs.
That's
in
awesome.
This program, and it just means more to me because it's something.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
you still have it,
for
obviously,
granted,
right?
and I still have it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's in an attic. It's not out like on display
Sure.
and stuff, but it's like in a sleeve to kind of protect it.
Sure. Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's a neat. I didn't realize that you were going back to ECW. That's awesome. Back in the day, that would have been kind of. I bet that was a wild time.
It was, it was nuts. Like my dad, like he would just drop me off at the events and not go in, and then once he saw like the girls, flash.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I'm in.
He starts coming. Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, is that Francine? Classic.
Yeah.
Classic ECW sensation, Francine. That's cool, man. That's awesome. Mine is a wrestling ring that my grandfather built for me. I had a wood wrestling ring. I don't know if he built it for me or my brother or whatever, but I do know that I still possess it. It's painted, and I used to have it with the WCW figures. I still, like I said, we used to do rubber bands, so we'd get like the thicker rubber bands go all around the corner. So I had a wrestling ring set up like that, and then of course I got the bigger ring, which I still have as well. And so those two possessions for me, man. Obviously, I grew up as a kid having all the action figures, and parents would buy me whatever. So it's cool, man. And those wrestling related things have stuck with me. They've managed to stay in my possession the whole time as I've been a fan. So it's pretty cool to go back and still have all that stuff. It's a neat thing. So I want to know, man, fans, if you're watching, what's your most prized wrestling possession? Comment below. We want to hear it. All right. Up next, everybody knows this is where Fred makes the money here, and you call yourself a fan. And we're back. Trivia time. You call yourself a fan. We go through 5 questions. Each one's worth 1 point. If you get it right, move to the top of the leaderboard before we do our last section here. So we're going to kick it off, and it starts like this. At WrestleMania 9, the outside ring interviews were conducted by... Freddie, I'll start with you.
Wait, say this. Repeat that again.
At WrestleMania... Oh, I'm so wrong, too. I'm glad I reread this. At WrestleMania 11, the outside ring interviews were conducted by...
Nick Totoro.
Dr. Dan?
Oh, I have no idea.
Matt?
I have no clue. Jeez. McMahon?
So you said it's Nick. You did say Nick Totoro, right, Freddie?
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember him being backstage. Is it Totoro? Is that how you say his last name, though?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
He's brothers with John Totoro, the other actor.
Oh, they're both actors. Okay. Well, I'm going to say Jenny McCarthy just to mix it up, just so I don't piggyback off of Freddie on that one. We were very wrong. This says Jim Ross, which just absolutely, I don't know how that's possible, but either way, Jim Ross is the answer. Very odd.
Jim may have done them too. Okay, yeah. I mean, no, I do remember Jim doing.
I don't remember him doing that at WrestleMania 11.
Like walking up,
maybe I guess it does say outside ring interviews, so maybe like right at ringside. I don't know.
Yeah, they were doing them like they would do this occasionally over the years, where like the guy was exiting the ring, like going.
Oh yeah, and then they'd interview him there.
And Jim Ross did do them, I remember, but.
Okay.
And I know Nick Totoro did do backstage, but I thought Nick Totoro also did.
I thought he was doing the backstage ones. Either way, we all got it wrong, so no one gets a point. Number 2, at the 1993 Survivor Series, the first man eliminated from the Fanatics was Pierre, Jacques, or Crush. Matt, I'll start with you.
Wow.
Pierre, obviously, and Jacques are the Mounties. So
I remember the Mounties.
Quebecers. But.
Yes, the Quebecers. Gosh. I'm going to... It couldn't be Crush. Because, or Kona Crush.
This was 93, so he's past Kona, so you're okay there.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to just say one of the Quebecers. Right. I don't know which one.
Well, you got to pick one for it's the first point.
Pierre.
All right, he's picking Pierre. Freddie, who you picking?
I hate to say the same name, but I'm going to go with Pierre.
Okay. Dr. Dan?
I'm going to say Crush. Let's be different. I'm not playing for points, baby.
I'm going to go with Jacques. The answer was Crush.
Wow.
Oh, wow. All right.
Wow. So good job, Dr. Dan, coming in hot there with the point. Okay. At the 1991 Survivor Series, one team was the Beverly Brothers and who? Legion of Doom, the Nasty Boys, or the Orient Express? I'll start this one off with the Nasty Boys. Dan?
Orient Express.
Freddie?
Well, I'll go with Legion of Doom, even though I don't think it's Legion of Doom, but I'll go with Legion of Doom.
Okay, Matt?
Orient Express.
All right.
That's what I was going to go with, but
The answer is Nasty Boys.
Wow.
Yeah, the only reason I know that's because they debuted like 2 weeks before that. I just listened to the Conrad podcast where they talked about the Nasty Boys with Bruce Pritchard. So, all right, these are all actually Survivor Series related. In the 1987 Survivor Series,
SummerSlam week.
I
Give me 04 SummerSlam.
I picked
dude.
these
Come on.
randomly, and they're all new generation. So, the 1987 Survivor Series. What tag team eliminated the Hart Foundation? What tag team eliminated the Hart Foundation? 1987 Survivor Series. Freddie?
Shit. I don't know. Ask me in November when it's actually fucking Survivor Series
season. I'm sorry. I pick them randomly. You know how this works.
I'm kidding. So wait, who was the Hart Foundation?
It's not multiple choice. Just go with Bob Backlund so we can all laugh.
Bob Backlund. The Rockers. I don't fucking.
Okay, Matt. Any guesses?
I mean, I'm trying to think who was heels. Like, I can't even think of who were heels in 1987 to do that. The answer is wrong, but let's just let's Bushwhackers just for fun.
Right,
it's not that.
I like it.
Oh shit, 87. Yeah, the Rockers weren't even in WWE yet.
That's okay. You already fucked up. Dan, any guesses?
No.
Okay. Not even gonna make a guess.
Dude, I'm not.
All right. I'm gonna go with Strike Force.
Damn, that's a mad random team.
Well, so you said that you were looking for heels, Matt, but they were actually the Hart Foundation were the Hart Foundation was heels in ¡87, and they were on the heel team. And the answer is the Killer Bees. The Killer Bees eliminated them.
My other answer is going to be Steiners.
Yeah, the Steiners were They were barely in WCW.
Fuck Brian B. Blair.
He did not like B. Brian Blair for some odd reason. All right, here we go. On the Pile Driver video album, who sang Jive Soul Bro?
Slick.
All right, Matt.
God, that's too far back. I was going to say Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah, but he never wrestled in WWE.
Well, he's Flash Funk.
Yeah, but in the night. Okay, that's a good point. But this was Pile Driver in the '80s.
I know. I have no idea.
He wrestled as Too Cold Scorpio in WWE.
Yeah, when he was on the Job Squad. I'm saying, right. My point was he wasn't there in the '80s when Pile Driver came out.
I don't even know if Flash Funk. If
he was wrestling he was wrestling in WC. No, not even back then. You're right. He didn't start until like late. Yeah. All right. So you're going with anybody guesses? No guesses. All right.
But that's where he got his start, was the Pile Driver album.
That it. So, Too Cold, how did you get into wrestling? Man, Vince McMahon called me up and was like, look, we're looking for a black guy to come sing this song. Like, classic Vince McMahon subtle racism. We're just like, we're looking for a black guy to come sing this. It's so terrible.
And why did they switch him to flat? Like, Too Cold Scorpio.
Bro, Too Cold Scorpio, absolute heater. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the 90s. I talk about this all the time. He was incredible.
Great theme song, though.
Yeah. Daniel, did you have any guesses, by the way?
I was going to say, you know what? If you talk about Slick, then you got to talk about the other man. I'm going with Akeem, the African Dream.
All right, I am going to say Slick because Slick is the one that is Akeem's song is Jive Soul Bro.
Jive Soul Bro.
But Slick, you had Jive Soul, yeah. Slick did sing that, so me and Fred get the point there. Way to go, Fred.
I was hoping for like a featuring, like get a half a point.
If I could add you a half a point right now, I would. Maybe when Around the Horn gets canceled, I can buy their board. Maybe I'll get the keyboard thing where he gives out points. Maybe it'll allow me to do that. All right, well that's trivia time. What a great time to do it. Last one. And oh man, I am what a terrible host I am. I forgot to fix this. I'm so sorry. Don't worry, got it. That was like a little transition. One has to go, where I pick 4 of the best things, 4 of the best gimmicks, wrestlers, time periods, all those things, and one of them has to cease to exist. You got to get rid of one. And so on that SummerSlam tilt, we go with SummerSlam's greatest moments from the past 30-plus years. In the top left, it is British Bulldog and Bret Hart. In the top right, it is Razor Ramon HBK ladder match number 2. In the bottom left, it is HBK Triple H unsanctioned. In bottom right, also from SummerSlam 02, The Rock versus Brock Lesnar, where he wins his first world title. And again, it is one has to go, meaning it ceases to exist. And Daniel, you are another new guest, so I'm going to let you kick it off, man. Which one you getting rid of?
Oh, man. On that, you know what? I'm going to say ladder match 2, because I like that 02 match of, Triple H and HBK. Like, it was, a little cheesy for the, not looking on it, but that was, out of all those moments, I would have to pick probably ladder match 2.
You're getting rid of ladder match 2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Freddie Fresh, man, which one you getting rid of?
Oh man, where's our graphic? I always love the graphics. Oh, there it is.
Oh man, it's just behind on the screen.
Oh, okay. No. So I'm gonna get rid of. I'm gonna get rid of the Shawn Razor ladder match.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Sure.
But you can't get rid of British Bulldog and Bret, because that's probably the most famous SummerSlam match of all time. You can't get rid of Triple H and Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels returned to the ring after 5 years, and it's a classic and one of my favorite, not only SummerSlam matches, but matches.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Obviously, I guess it wasn't
Brock versus Rock.
Oh, right, yeah. Brock. I mean, that was The Rock's last match for a period of time. That was
Brock's first title.
Brock's first title, and that match kind of was the predicator of Hollywood Rock.
Yeah.
Because
when he came back as Hollywood Rock. Yeah.
He got booed heavily, and Brock got cheered heavily during that match. Granted, it was Long Island, and they always do that.
That seemed to happen to The Rock multiple times. That also happened with the Hogan thing.
Yeah. I think by that time, people started to get a little sour on The Rock. I think because he was leaving.
Yeah.
He wasn't... that we hadn't seen that really.
Yeah, there wasn't a part-time thing, didn't exist back then.
Yeah. So I think fans started to get a little disgruntled, like
you're not one of us anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Now, look at now 20 something years later
and we still feel that way. Don't come back. You're not one of us.
Yeah.
All right. Matt, what about you, man? One has to go. SummerSlam moments.
So, I'm in Shawn Michaels is my all-time
Okay, he's your guy.
wrestler.
Okay.
So, and then that Bret Hart, the British Bulldog was whacked out of his mind. and he called every spot, and that goes down as the greatest, probably, SummerSlam match of all time. I can't get rid of the Shawn Michaels matches. I wish you didn't put 2 of them in.
That's why I did. I'm conveniently very good at this.
The Brock Lesnar one was a pop.
Yep.
But I'm just like, you didn't see ladder matches, man, back in the 90s.
Right.
Like, the fact that they had 2 of them,
yeah,
like that in back-to-back years, it was nuts.
Yep.
I got to get rid of Brock.
All right. I like it. I am also getting rid of Brock. And I'll tell you why, man. 95 SummerSlam holds a place near and dear to my heart. I watched it live on pay-per-view. That was really crucial for me. I had it on VHS. One of those things where you're watching on pay-per-view, so you record it so you have your own VHS of it. That was one of my favorites, man. That ladder match was awesome. I was a big Razor guy. Just a lot of, it was a super new generation era, right? That SummerSlam, but I was really, looking back on it, it's one of those ones that I just really enjoyed as a kid. And I really, really liked it. So I got to keep that one. Obviously the HBK Triple H unsanctioned match, which I just thought was like so incredible. After seeing Shawn Michaels gone for so long, I was like, damn, this is awesome. And I thought it was really good. Of course they bleed like, the pig. They just slice them open. And then Bulldog, Bret Hart, obviously, because I'm a huge, wrestling fan in ring thing. And I thought that was a really cool moment in Wembley to do that. And Brock and Rock, like, it didn't go on last. It didn't, it was kind of a weird, the way they did it. And you were just like, okay, Brock won and now he's champion, which was crazy because he was the next big thing, obviously. But for me, I could have done without it. So that's what I did. Went with that. And with that being said, we have gone around the mat. And our winner today, world champ, now, Matt Clark. Matt, you get 60 seconds to give us a little bit of, tell us something that the people need to know.
That's an easy one, man. Double Bogey Down Apparel. It's my golf brand. All the socials, the website will be up very shortly. Everything was being worked on in many golf courses, and we'll have a couple of pictures of PJ when he puts on the outfit finally.
Yeah, dude, it's been so miserable hot here. I haven't got to play golf yet. Don't you worry. I'll be flexing in it when I shoot a solid 80. That's really where I'm at. I'm about 84, 88. So,
Well, you're not double. I guess you are.
No, I'm like right in that ballpark. Yeah, I'm a bogey golfer right now, but it just depends on the day.
I'm trying to break 100, dude.
Have a couple drinks and then you'll be, then go out.
Yeah, see, I can't do it. I can't drink and golf. I can't drink and guys. I can't do it. But man, awesome. Double Bogey Down Apparel. He did. He sent me stuff. I wore the hat the other week on the show. Thank you so much for being a part of us too today, Matt, man. We really appreciate it. All right, Dan, because you are a special guest and you join us and you got a big match this week, tell us. You get 60 seconds, but you got to do it in your Dr. Dan gimmick.
Oh, shit, I'm on time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, a motivational speaker from Yale University. I have a chance to not only motivate Cleveland, Ohio, but pretty much all of the, outside people coming into Cleveland for SummerSlam weekend with a 6-way scramble at Absolute Intense Wrestling against the world. Using dedication, confidence, and respect, I will defeat some of AIW's best students that have ever come out of the school, and also a couple outsiders and some up-and-comers that have recently had tryouts. So you're going to see, a wide variety of, people in my match. It's definitely more of a homegrown student match, but we're going to, I'm hoping to steal the show. And plus, you never know, Lucha Dan might come out and I'll have to do, a couple things that you don't see. You don't see me do a lot.
If we see a Rockingham Rana, it's going down. I can't wait. Also, I would like to note, everybody out here yelling CEO, we started the DCR chant years ago in that same cadence. So we've been doing that just so Monet knows who's really been doing it, man. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, obviously, this week. We're excited. SummerSlam is happening this weekend. AIW. Freddie's going to be in Cleveland taking it all in. Can't wait to hear all about it. Thank you guys for doing it. It's been another great week of wrestling. And until next time, when we go around the mat.